We've all read or heard about Anne Frank's diary. It's this incredible window into her life in hiding during the Holocaust. But today, we're going to look at her words in a totally different way, through a psychological lens. We're going to explore how something as simple as a memory of a first crush could actually become a powerful, radical act of survival. So let me just ask you this straight up. Can a memory actually keep you alive? I don't just mean emotionally, but in that deep, fundamental way. Can it preserve your spirit when absolutely everything else is being stripped away? Well, for Anne, the answer was absolutely yes. Her memories, especially the ones about her first loves, weren't just simple daydreams. No, they were her escape hatch. They were this secret inner world that she could retreat to, and they became this incredibly powerful way for her to hold on to her own humanity. Okay, so to really get this, we need to talk about what I'm calling her emotional anchors. And as you're about to see, these were not just some fleeting childhood crushes. They were so much more than that. So, before going into hiding, there were two boys on Anne's mind. You had Hello Silberberg, who was this charming friend, someone who really admired her. But then, there was Peter Schiff. And that's the key distinction here. Peter, he represented something much deeper, more romantic. He's the one who really captured her imagination. I mean, she literally calls him the love of her life in her diary. Just think about that for a second. Those are powerful words. That's not just a casual memory, right? It tells you how incredibly important he was to her, this ideal she would cling to when things got dark. And the memories themselves, they were so beautifully ordinary. She would just replay these little moments in her mind, him walking her home, the way he looked at her, their long talks. You have to imagine in the stifling quiet of the annex, these tiny, normal moments from her past must have just glowed. They were a reminder that a whole world of emotional possibility once existed. And here's the thing. This wasn't really just about a boy. These memories were her link, her connection to a normal life that had been so brutally taken from her. Every time she thought about Peter, she was also thinking about freedom, the freedom to just walk down a street. She was remembering what it felt like to be a normal teenager. And crucially, she was holding on to her own identity. And, dreaming of a future she was terrified she might never get to have. And you have to see the incredible contrast here. In her memories, she was seen, she was special. But in the annex, where she had to be quiet, hidden, she wrote that she felt completely invisible. So her memories, they were her rebellion against that feeling. So here's the key takeaway, right? Peter Schiff wasn't just some boy she liked. No, he was a symbol of the person Anne was supposed to become, the girl who gets to fall in love, who gets to have friends, who just gets to exist in the world. He was all tied up with the Anne who could have been. And that brings us to the biggest idea of this whole explainer. And honestly, it's a pretty profound one. That when you're facing dehumanization, the simple act of remembering and feeling love can become an incredible act of resistance. Okay, so psychologically, how does this work? Well, it starts with something really basic in all of us. We are wired to seek attachment and connection. But when things get extreme, when you're in a situation like Anne's, that need goes into overdrive. Affection is no longer a luxury. It becomes a survival tool. And that's when love becomes resistance. When a force is trying to erase you, holding onto that love is your way of screaming that you are still human. And that is exactly what those memories of Hello and Peter were for Anne. They were her emotional anchors. It's a psychological term for these very specific kinds of memories, the ones that hold you down in a storm. They give you stability, they remind you who you are, and they give you a reason to hope when everything feels hopeless. And this is where it all comes back to us. Anne's story teaches us that we all have these anchors inside of us. So I want to leave you with this question to think about for yourself. What are the memories, the feelings, the people that keep you stable and give you hope? What are the emotional anchors that sustain you?